We start off in the fairy tale kingdom, but it is not all sunshine and rainbows for little Princess Fiona. She has been trapped in a curse that turns her into a hideous ogre the second the sun goes down. The only way to break this spell is a kiss from her true love, but the clock is ticking hard. Her parents are absolutely losing their minds and decide they need a shady shortcut to save their daughter. The queen is feeling super skeptical about the fairy godmother, so they look for other sketchy options. Enter Rumpelstiltskin, the most devious little manipulator in the entire land, ready to capitalize on their grief. He wants the keys to the entire kingdom of far, far away in exchange for breaking the curse. The king is sweating bullets because this deal sounds like a straight-up scam, but he is running out of time. Fiona has been stuck in that tower for an eternity and her parents are desperate to get her back. They decide that no crown or castle is worth more than their own daughter's life. Rumpelstiltskin flashes a creepy smile, promising that all their problems will vanish if they just sign the paper. But just as the ink is about to hit the parchment, the news breaks that Fiona has already been rescued. It turns out our boy Shrek rolled up, kicked some dragon butt, and saved the princess himself. The kingdom goes wild, the curse is broken, and Shrek and Fiona settle down for that sweet domestic bliss. Rumpelstiltskin is absolutely furious, watching his plans crumble while everyone else celebrates the ogre's victory. He tries to scam a kid out of a toy in the street, showing us he is still a petty little villain. He is officially cooked and wishes Shrek had never even existed in the first place. Flash forward to the present, and Shrek is living the mundane life as a dad with his little ogre babies. It is the same old morning routine, proving that some things never really change for our favorite green guy. We see a montage of his life, framed as a hero who changed the world just by being himself. Shrek is trying to navigate the chaos of being a father, but he looks like he is struggling with the transition. The storybook life is playing on loop, but Shrek is starting to feel the weight of his repetitive reality. The kids are loud, the outhouse is clogged, and Shrek is clearly losing his cool with the domestic grind. Fiona arrives home, and for a moment, they share that classic magic, but the tension is definitely building up. It is the kid's birthday, and Shrek is trying to stay professional while keeping his inner monster in check. The fans are acting like he is a total joke, asking him to perform, which he clearly finds incredibly annoying. They want the real, scary Shrek back, but he is trying to act like a wholesome, party-loving father. Donkey is pushing for a sing-along, and Shrek is low-key hitting his breaking point with everyone's demands. Shrek wonders why being a best friend means he has to sacrifice his own sanity every single day. Some random kid starts pestering him to roar, and Shrek is just trying to focus on the birthday cake. The stress of the party is mounting as he tries to keep the candles and the cake organized. Shrek gets a pair of chaps, and for a split second, he tries to play along with the goofy vibe. The cake looks ridiculous, but he is forcing a smile while his patience is thinner than ever. Everybody is telling him to lighten up, but he just wants 1 second of peace and quiet. Donkey is acting extra, and Shrek is clearly reaching the end of his rope with this entire party circus. He snaps at the kid, explaining that a roar is for anger, not for entertainment at a birthday party. He is whispering to himself to keep it chill, but he is clearly one bad moment away from exploding. The situation spirals out of control, and Shrek is visibly exhausted by the lack of respect from the crowd. He destroys the cake, and he definitely does not look sorry about it at all, causing a scene. Fiona tries to mediate, but Shrek is feeling completely misunderstood by the people who should know him best. The chaos peaks when the cake vanishes, and Shrek just gives up on the whole festive charade. The crowd is baying for blood and a roar, pushing Shrek into a corner of pure, unadulterated frustration. Even the pigs are acting entitled, and Shrek is just done with the entire ridiculous performance. He is being pulled in every direction while trying to maintain the facade of a happy family man. His daughter tries to reach him, but Shrek is too blinded by his own misery to notice. Fiona finally confronts him, and it is about to get real between the power couple of the swamp. She is done playing nice, and she calls him out on how he is choosing to spend this special day. Shrek is trying to deflect the blame, but he knows deep down he is the one acting out. Fiona tries to de-escalate, but Shrek is not having any of it and he is ready to argue. He starts trash-talking their home, revealing he feels more like a circus exhibit than a husband. He is spiraling, calling himself a joke and losing his sense of identity as an actual ogre. Fiona tries to tell him that changing is not bad, but he is too stubborn to listen to reason. He insults her history, claiming she does not understand his struggle because she grew up in royalty. He is romanticizing the old days when everyone was scared of him and he lived in solitude. He just wants the world to make sense, back when he had zero responsibilities and pure isolation. He even blames the day he rescued her for why his life is currently such a complicated mess. Fiona points out that he has literally everything, but Shrek is too self-absorbed to see it. He storms off, feeling like he is the victim, ready to prove he does not need to apologize. He is acting like a total child, refusing to be the bigger person because his ego is massive. He decides he is going to reclaim his ogreness, even if it means burning every bridge he has. He wanders into the woods and finds Rumpelstiltskin, who is faking a struggle for a laugh. Rumpelstiltskin is playing a game, pretending to be dying just to lure Shrek into his trap. He acts terrified when he sees the ogre, knowing exactly how to manipulate Shrek's current mood. Shrek is feeling nostalgic, admitting that he used to be the fearsome guy everyone was scared of. He tries to act tough, but Rumpelstiltskin is already weaving his web of deception around him. Shrek turns down the meal, still holding on to a tiny shred of his new moral compass. The con artist starts asking questions, steering Shrek toward the exact trap he has set up. Rumpelstiltskin offers him a ride, and Shrek is too distracted by his own ego to see the red flags. They are heading to a spot where Rumpelstiltskin can finish the job of ruining Shrek's life. They settle in for drinks, and Rumpelstiltskin starts buttering him up with sympathy and booze. He starts gaslighting Shrek, telling him how cool it is to be a terrifying, free-roaming ogre. He is painting the life of an ogre as a fantasy of pure power and no consequences. Shrek falls for it, talking about his desire to just be feared for one single day again. Rumpelstiltskin jumps at the bait, revealing his magical contract services right on the spot. Shrek is skeptical, but the wine and the flattery are working exactly how the villain planned. Rumpelstiltskin presents the perfect deal, just one day to be the old Shrek again, no strings. He describes how awesome it would be to be the nightmare of the village one more time. Shrek asks the million-dollar question, but he is already too far gone to walk away now. The pressure is absolutely peaking as Rumpelstiltskin forces Shrek to ink the deal that will flip his entire world upside down. Shrek signs the contract, thinking he just bought a day of peace, but he has no idea he has just been played. The scene shifts to a chaotic, warped reality where the whimsical tone of the fairy tale world starts to crack. Suddenly, the atmosphere turns hostile, and the townspeople are out for blood, hunting Shrek like a monster. Shrek delivers his signature badass line, but realizes the fear in the villagers' eyes is different this time. Shrek returns to his swamp only to find it completely abandoned and hollowed out, hitting him right in the feels. Shrek screams for Rumple, but the reality of his mistake starts to sink in as he is surrounded by hostile witches. The witches swarm him with some serious main character energy, and Shrek is definitely not vibing with this capture. Shrek tries to assert his dominance, but he is completely cooked as the witches refuse to back down. The witches show zero mercy, effectively silencing Shrek while he is dragged away into the unknown. Donkey is trapped in a cart with witches, forced to listen to a tune that is straight-up torture. Shrek wakes up in captivity, completely disoriented and wondering what happened to his perfect, predictable life. The witch in charge is purely focused on her grind, refusing to give Shrek any info on his missing wife. Donkey continues his chaotic singing, clearly trying to cope with the bizarre situation in the most annoying way possible. Shrek realizes his kids are totally gone, and the panic is starting to set in for real. Shrek tries to reach out to Donkey, but he has no idea that in this timeline, they are total strangers. Donkey rejects Shrek hard, which is a major gut punch because their bromance was legendary. Shrek tries to remind Donkey of their bond, but Donkey thinks the idea of an ogre friend is completely wild. The guards drop the bomb that Shrek is headed to meet his fate, and things are looking grim. The vibe is pure villainous energy as they prepare to bring Shrek before the man who ruined everything. The crowd begins to chant insults, showing just how far Shrek's reputation has fallen in this dark timeline. Shrek whispers to Donkey, promising he is going to fix this, even if it seems impossible. Rumpelstiltskin enters the scene, and his sheer arrogance is enough to make anyone want to throw hands. Another poor soul pleads for his life, but Rumple is heartless and discards him like trash. Rumple dismisses the petitioner, proving he is the ultimate grifter in this twisted fairy tale land. Rumple gloats over Shrek, reveling in the fact that he finally got the ogre right where he wants him. The villainous smirk on Rumple's face is peak chaotic evil energy as he mocks Shrek's misery. Shrek tries to deflect, but Rumple makes it clear that Shrek is the one who really messed up. Rumple reveals that the king and queen sold out, proving that everyone has a breaking point. The stakes are raised as Rumple reveals the dark consequence of his deal with the royal couple. Rumple twists the truth about why the deal was made, making Shrek look like the villain of his own story. Shrek is hit with the devastating revelation that his entire life with Fiona has been erased. Shrek loses his cool and threatens Rumple, but he is completely playing into the villain's hand. Rumple mocks Shrek's past, revealing the loophole that cost him his entire existence. The manipulation is masterclass as Rumple insists that this was all Shrek's choice. The deadline is set, and the tension hits an all-time high as Shrek realizes he is literally fading away. Rumple goes for the emotional kill, reminding Shrek that his family is essentially deleted from history. Rumple revels in his own smarts, leaving Shrek trapped in a nightmare of his own making. The irony is brutal as Rumple celebrates the very day he turned Shrek's life into a tragedy. Rumple orders his minions around, showing he is a total micromanaging boss from hell. Shrek tries to appeal to Donkey one last time, but the donkey remains completely oblivious to their past. The scene erupts into chaos as Shrek tries to escape his captors, fighting with everything he has left. Donkey screams as he is dragged away, completely traumatized by the crazy ogre situation. Shrek struggles to contain the panicked Donkey without accidentally hurting him in the process. Donkey is so terrified he is literally offering his possessions to survive, which is honestly kind of sad. The scene is absolute madness as Donkey continues his hilarious protest against his own abduction. Shrek tries to de-escalate, showing a rare moment of gentleness amidst the high-intensity action. Donkey is still convinced Shrek is a monster, leading to a weirdly comedic moment in the middle of a crisis. Shrek pleads for Donkey's trust, knowing he is the only one who can help him break this loop. Shrek gets frustrated and lets Donkey go, feeling like all hope is officially gone. Donkey is genuinely shocked to see an ogre display vulnerability, which changes the dynamic between them. Donkey relates to the sadness in his own absurd way, creating a weirdly bonding moment between the two. Donkey is now listening, and the tide is finally turning in their awkward rescue mission. Shrek explains the contract mistake, finally putting his cards on the table for Donkey to see. Donkey makes a joke about the contract, showing he is finally settling into his role as the sidekick. Shrek realizes there might be a way out, and the hope in his voice is palpable. They both agree that Rumple is a snake, aligning themselves against their common enemy. Shrek is obsessed with the technicality, and he is determined to outsmart the villain at his own game. Donkey reveals he has some unexpected hidden talents that are actually going to be useful for once. They misinterpret the text, but the realization of the truth is right around the corner. The legendary trope is revealed, and the goal is set: they have to find Fiona and save the day. The fairy tale law is the key to everything, and Shrek feels like he finally has a chance. Donkey gets sassy, keeping the tone light even though the fate of the entire kingdom is at stake. Shrek is now mission-focused, tracking his past actions to locate his wife in this weird timeline. The guilt is weighing on Shrek, knowing he caused this mess with his own selfish wish. They arrive at the terrifying location, and the danger level is officially maxed out. Shrek is fiercely protective, and he is not taking any excuses from Donkey anymore. They are using every sense available to find a clue, proving that Shrek is desperate for his reality back. Donkey catches a scent, and for a second, things seem like they might actually go right. Donkey is distracted by food again, showing that his love for waffles is literally eternal. Shrek is smart enough to know a trap, refusing to let Donkey fall for the bait. The action kicks off as they stumble upon a secret resistance group hiding out in the forest. The resistance members look at Shrek with curiosity, wondering who this tiny ogre in a vest really is. They get recruited into the secret squad, and Shrek is clearly confused but goes with it. The resistance reveals their mission, and suddenly Shrek is part of something much bigger than himself. The tension rises as the resistance prepares to cook Donkey, and Shrek has to step in fast. Fiona appears, looking fierce as ever, and Shrek is absolutely mesmerized by her entrance. Shrek runs to her, but he is completely caught off guard by her cold, warrior-like demeanor. Shrek is on a total mission, grabbing his squad for the war room to plot the ultimate takedown. He tries to spill the tea to Fiona about their past, but she is strictly business and not buying his vibe. He brings up their wild history, including that weird kid from their past, hoping for a spark of memory. The explanation gets messy, low-key awkward, and Fiona is just staring at him like he is legit cooked. The resistance is tired of hiding, and Fiona is ready to stop playing games with the palace guards. Fiona is dropping main character energy, planning a massive ambush that will flip the kingdom. Even the ogre crew notices that Fiona is the one wearing the pants in this tactical operation. Rumpelstiltskin is living in his own reality, monologuing to his minions about his twisted little empire. He finally realizes Shrek is the glitch in his perfect world and knows he has to stop that kiss. The stakes are absolutely wild, because if they kiss, his entire evil regime goes poof. Rumpel is acting all calm and collected, but the villainous energy is off the charts. He decides it is time to bring in the big guns to deal with the ogre problem once and for all. Rumpel has a creepy musical trick up his sleeve to handle the ogre threat. Word hits the rebel base that Rumpel is actually coming out of his nest for the hunt. The ogres see an opening and plan to ambush the caravan at the river by midnight. Cookie the ogre is worried about her food, but the revolution takes priority over snacks. Fiona rallies the troops with a speech, determined to liberate far, far away for good. Shrek is stressing about the romantic clock, but the crew thinks he is just worried about the fight. He tries to get advice from Donkey on how to explain the whole timeline situation to Fiona. The reality of their lives sounds completely unhinged to anyone who has not lived through it. Shrek is low-key terrified of being labeled a lunatic by the girl he is trying to save. He starts questioning his own legacy, wondering if his kids have hooves or actual claws. Shrek finds Puss, but the cat has totally let himself go in retirement. Puss has gone from fierce bounty hunter to a pampered indoor kitty living his best life. The legendary swordsman is gone, replaced by a soft cat who prefers cream over fighting. Shrek is shook by how much Puss has changed since the good old days. He pleads with the cat to help him navigate the mess with Fiona and restore their bond. Shrek tries to get in Fiona's good graces with a bizarre gift basket full of swampy goods. The romantic coupons are a total fail, and Fiona is not having any of his weird gestures. She shuts him down hard, telling him to focus on the revolution instead of romance. He tries a smooth move that ends in disaster, leaving him looking like a complete amateur. Puss tries to reclaim some dignity while dealing with his weight and identity crisis. Rumple is losing his cool as the pressure to catch the ogres hits a breaking point. His frustration shows that his perfect world is starting to crumble under the stress. He brings in the Pied Piper, a character who clearly has some dark, magical power. The squad is skeptical about a guy with a flute, but they are about to be surprised. The music has an insane effect, making everyone lose control of their own actions. The Piper is a massive threat and he is tracking down the resistance with ease. Donkey warns Shrek that he is out of his league with the way Fiona is acting. The ogres are obsessed with their rebellion, and it is the only thing on their mind. Shrek tries to look like a pro while prepping for the big fight ahead. His attempt to blend in with the warriors is low-key hilarious and failing fast. He grabs a random tool, not realizing it is for chores, and Fiona spots the error. He tries to assert his identity, but nobody is really paying attention to the details. Fiona is worried he is out of his depth and tries to protect him from the danger. Fiona tests him, and he manages to show off some hidden skill with the rope. She is impressed for a split second, but the mission remains the only priority. She commands him to prep, putting her foot down as the leader of the pack. Puss corners him, insisting that he saw something special between Shrek and Fiona. Puss has that intuition only a legendary cat can have, realizing love is still buried deep. Shrek doubles down on his role, knowing he is the only one who can fix the curse. He proves his legitimacy by knowing the secret prophecy that defines their entire lives. Puss tells him he has to convince her, no matter what it takes or how crazy it sounds. He is instructed to share something only a true soulmate could ever know. They have a moment where they acknowledge Puss has a lot to deal with, but he is family. Donkey is just vibing, completely oblivious to the gravity of the upcoming ambush. They head out for the operation, with everything riding on this single, high-stakes moment. The squad is moving in, and the tension is rising faster than the heat in a kitchen. They trade witty banter while trying to coordinate the most important attack in their history. The dynamic between them is peak comedy, even when they are facing certain doom. Puss takes charge, proving that he still has some of that old fire left in him. The team sets up, waiting for the signal to strike and end Rumple's reign forever. Shrek is watching the road, heart pounding, waiting for the caravan to roll into range. He realizes he needs to be real with her if he ever wants to break through the armor. She thinks he is trying to sabotage the mission, but he is actually trying to save it. Shrek is determined to take down the villain and lift the burden of her dark curse. The mystery is finally being laid bare, and Fiona is completely caught off guard by him. He begs for one chance to explain the reality of their connection and the timeline. The rebels are getting impatient as the clock ticks closer to the moment of truth. Panic starts to set in as the caravan approaches the kill zone without a hitch. Fiona denies the label, showing she has fully embraced her identity as a warrior ogre. The scene ends with her rejecting the fairy tale life, setting up a massive climax. Shrek is spilling all the tea, low-key exposing that he knows every single vibe about Fiona. He mentions her voice is so lit it literally makes birds explode, which is honestly a chaotic flex. The tension is wild when he drops the truth bomb about why she turns human every day. Suddenly, things get cursed as they start dancing against their own will because of the music. Puss and Donkey are literally fighting for their lives while forced to bust a move. Shrek realizes he has to go solo to save the squad, main character energy engaged. He tries to fix everything with a kiss, but the plot twist is that it just does not work. Fiona hits us with the ultimate truth, saying she never needed a hero to save her from the tower. She realizes the whole true love myth is just a total scam and she is over it. Fiona drags Shrek for not being there when she was suffering alone in that miserable keep. The ogres are hyped up and ready to fight back, refusing to let Rumple hold them down. Rumpelstiltskin officially goes full villain mode, announcing his plan to everyone in the kingdom. He is baiting the citizens with a promise of total happiness if they hand over the ogre. The village is absolutely losing it, sharpening pitchforks and preparing to hunt Shrek down. Shrek is spiraling, thinking it is officially game over for him and his entire legacy. Ginny tries to play Rumple by bringing in fake ogres, but the villain is not falling for it. Rumple catches the bluff instantly, realizing these aren't the real ogres he wanted. The villain is throwing a complete tantrum because he just cannot catch the ogre he needs. Shrek finally shows up to turn himself in, but he has a secret plan cooking in the back. He uses the contract logic against Rumple to secure the freedom of all the other ogres. Things are looking bleak for Shrek, but he cares more about the squad being safe. Rumple is acting super cocky because he thinks he played them all, but he is dead wrong. Shrek finally admits he has been missing out on being there for her this entire time. Fiona is not about to sit back and watch her man go down without a fight. The gang needs to storm the castle, which is guarded by a bunch of totally terrifying witches. Rumple is hosting his big event, acting like he has already won the whole game. He brings out the dragon to destroy the vibes, setting the stage for a total showdown. Donkey has to work his magic on the dragon to get the team inside the palace. Puss is out here throwing hands and serving chaos to help save the day. The squad makes a daring run inside the castle as the climax hits peak intensity. They think they have cleared the level, but the danger is far from over for our leads. Shrek and Fiona share a moment, realizing they are the ultimate power couple after all. Shrek opens up about his new family, making us all feel some type of way. He gets one final chance to tell Fiona how much he loves her before the clock hits 0. The sun rises and Fiona stays an ogre, which is a major plot twist that changes everything. Rumple is absolutely triggered because his plan to control everything just crumbled. Shrek is finally at peace with who he is, living his best life as an ogre. He lets out a massive roar, signaling he is back and better than ever before. The crew is reunited and everything is vibes once again. What a legendary resolution. The final realization hits that they were both saving each other this whole time. That was an epic wild ride from start to finish for our favorite green hero. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that subscribe button so you do not miss the next one. Turn on those post notifications so you can be the first to catch the next big movie drop. Let us know in the comments which movie we should dissect next for the channel. We are out, catch you all in the next video. Stay legendary, guys.